Hi, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. So I just finished this journal here and I'm really pleased with it. This is a very old book and it has this lovely 3-color image setting on the front. But inside this perfect oval here was the title of the book, which wasn't my favorite title. So I went and got this in Farm and Field, which is where I get some of my wonderful 1800s plates from. And I found a page in there and I cut that out in an oval and I got this from it. And this is a wonderful little harvest mouse. And this netting on the outside is actually the spine from this book. So I thought that was really cool. I had to do some repairs because it was in pretty bad disrepair. And I just put some cotton ties here and left the rest of it pretty much the same. This is just the little excerpt that was on the page with the harvest mouse image. I made a pocket here on this side, which has a 1938 French almanac from Paris, France, page on it. And then this is the original page inscription here. It was given to John from Rusty, Christmas 1919. I was going to erase this, but it can be erased with just an eraser. It's pretty easy, but I did leave it in because it's somebody who lived on Eric Avenue owned the book at one time, and I always find that really interesting. This is one of the original first plates of this book here, which is from the early 1900s. So I'm just going to take you on a little journey through this journal. I made a lot of little clusters here. Here is the original spine of the book here. And like I said, it was in great disrepair. It's actually in 3 pieces here, you can already tell. But I just made it into a bookmark. And there's an antique book page on the other side. And then I made this little flip book here that's just for journaling on with some vintage wallpaper. And this is another one of those wonderful how-to watercolor vintage books. Just a lovely image of a flower there. If you want to do some artwork with that, you most certainly can. Sorry, I'm just gonna pop that here. Another one of these wonderful fuzzy cardstock pages here from a children's book, and a vintage cookbook here from the 50s, which is got the wonderful vintage color in it. On this side here, we have that Polish embroidery page, and look at the stunning work on this one. Don't often see people in this, but this has the back of a woman wearing a very fantastic embroidered and crocheted outfit there. And there's another beautiful photograph there. This is just an antique book cover page, and I made this out of a vintage magazine page. I just thought that was a really pretty image. Wrapped it around the back. You can journal back there and in here. Just look at this lovely little children's book image from the 1920s. Another stamped collector's book page. Everything in here is real antique and vintage ephemera. I don't print or use any digital commercial papers. I do tea dye a few pages for extra journaling space. And there's a 1930s community chess card from an old Monopoly game that I have. This here is interesting. So this is a souvenir book of Anne de Beaupre, which is up in Quebec from 1949. All of the postcards were gone, but I did have a Saint Anne de Beaupre winter image, and this one is from the early 1900s. You can tell it's got a lot of horse and buggies there, no cars. So they go together, but they didn't start together. That makes sense? 1935 ledger sheet, a music book, lesson book here, which is kind of fun. And I made a pocket on here with a children's book page and slipped in a little printed, that was from an antique book, that lovely image. With some, it's hard to find the blank pages, so I have a little box where I just throw my semi-blank or blank pages for extra journaling. This is one of those Watchman's Guard clock faces, which is kind of rare and very sought after, I've been told. I've had a lot of people ask for them specifically in their journals. 1955 receipt from Pearl Shop in Cincinnati. The other side of that ledger, this is just a children's interior book page from, it was one of the first pages in the book, and I just made it into a journaling card. And this came from the same book, that lovely little picture of a donkey there. I just have some trim here, and this is from 1856. on how to care for and farm animals. Cool. Just put a little trim on there as well. And another little antique book page here that I gave a title to. More journaling space. Little Hungry Heart. Isn't that sweet? Oh, I love it. A 1955 American Road Map Atlas and a lovely Birdwatcher's logbook. Vintage. I tea-dyed it a bit more. Children's book page here. I love the type for this one. And this is a lovely children's activity book page that was from the 50s and 60s. It didn't have a date, that's what I'm guessing. I think that's another one of those wonderful vintage children's book pages. And this is from a lovely tablecloth that I've been using this week. And it's just so soft and wonderful with the cross stitch there. Another bird page. Just a little cluster here that I used to break up the map a bit. And 1950s Theatre World magazine page. And a 1950s Women's Needlework magazine page. And a beautiful little children's book page here. Isn't that lovely? Look at the image there. It's so pretty. And this fell out of a book that I bought recently. It's from 1962, April. I just thought that was fun. 60-year-old, 61-year-old page there. And just a vintage playing card. Just fun to look at. Well loved. Another wonderful children's book page here and here. And over here, this is a little signature that came out of a ministry's book. Has lovely poems in it called The Ministry of Song. And it's just really sweet. You can reuse that ephemera and make your own projects or just keep it because it's lovely. And then this is the Demarest Family Magazine from the 1892 edition here. It's very fragile. It will probably likely tear, but the images here can be used and reused, and it's just wonderful. A wonderful little piece of history. I can't even figure out how to fold it. It's so old. There we go. Okay, tuck that back in. Another little postcard here. And that one is from 1948 with a wonderful message on it. Another journaling envelope here. An embroidery. But oh, isn't that lovely? Cut work, and then more of these flip side pages of wonderful advertisements in this 1950s Theatre Arts magazine page, and then the original The End page of the book, which brings us to, guess what, the end. So if you want to find out more about this, you can go to hyperstamper.etsy.com, and don't forget to subscribe.